During the evening of Tuesday, July 12th, my sister had stopped by to visit me at the group home for people with disabilities that I've been living at in Brooklyn Center. She had parked her 2018 Kia Sportage, similar to this one, on the street in front of the home. Around 6:30 p.m., we had been walking outside and noticed her vehicle was gone. She immediately called the police to see if it was towed or if it had been stolen. Later, we found out that her Kia had been stolen around 5:42 p.m. by 6 males who appeared to be somewhere between 14 and 20 years old. Because the weekend had just ended, she still had 2 paddleboards, 2 hammocks, and a tennis racket in the car. Although we weren't able to get video of the actual theft, we were able to find surveillance videos of 5 young adults walking down the sidewalk, then turning around to get into the vehicle, which had already been broken into, started, driven down the street, then turned around to pick them up by one of their friends. One of the suspects had gestured to a handbag and indicated that he had a gun. The surveillance video of the suspects is linked below in this video's description. When the Brooklyn Center police arrived around 6:45 p.m., they mentioned that the suspects had already used the vehicle when they burglarized an occupied home, meaning the residents were home when the suspects entered the home and took items. Later that evening, we learned that the suspects were spotted with the vehicle by the Woodbury Police Department, and within 3 hours of the theft, the St. Paul Police Department tried to stop the vehicle with the suspects, but the suspects began throwing things out the windows at officers. The items included one of the paddleboards and the tennis racket. Because of the risks to the general public, the suspects, and the officers ended their pursuit. In a recent mini-documentary about the Kia boys in Milwaukee, some of the boys mentioned that one of the ways they are able to get away from public safety officers is to make themselves appear more reckless and dangerous so that officers will discontinue their pursuit. Also, the boys mentioned that even if they do get caught by officers, they generally do not expect to be held in a juvenile center or jail. They are generally released to their parents. One of the boys mentioned that if he did get caught for these crimes, he'd only be in a juvenile center or jail a few days, at most 3 weeks. The mini-documentary video is linked below in this video's description. Within 18 hours of the theft of my sister's vehicle, the Ramsey County Sheriff's Office said the suspected driver nearly ran over an officer, then rammed 4 squad cars before driving up on the sidewalk, then between a tree and a fence, hitting the fence, to avoid arrest in St. Paul. A few hours later, officers arrested 2 of the suspects after a brief foot chase. My sister's vehicle was also recovered. Sadly, it is severely damaged and very likely a total loss, as shown in these photos. When she inspected the vehicle, she discovered an unfired bullet in the rear hatch area, plus traces of marijuana in the cup holders. Ramsey County Sheriff Fletcher and Deputy Scott share more information about tracking and arresting the suspects during their Live on Patrol episode number 244, recorded on July 14th, which is linked below in this video's description. It sounds like the suspects have several previous auto theft and weapons charges. The juvenile driver was previously arrested in Hennepin County, released to his mom, placed on home arrest until his trial, but removed the tracking device and chose to continue harming our community members. It's important to note that Ramsey County Sheriff Bob Fletcher has learned that the suspect's mom is also very upset and concerned about her son's choices and actions. As a single mother, she is likely working more than full-time trying to support her family. Therefore, she is likely unable to be home to supervise the kids 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And because of the cost of childcare and youth day programs, likely isn't able to afford the cost of those supports. Many families throughout our communities face similar challenges. Parents, relatives, and friends can only try their best in each moment given these challenging circumstances and limited resources. Ultimately, teenagers and young adults need to make their own choices as they grow up and have greater freedoms. As society members, as community members, we must share some of our limited time and energy, our talents, our tools, and our connections with others to address these challenges, to have the communities we all want and deserve. Safer and healthier communities, healthier and safer families, safer and healthier people. Someone should do something, right? Well, you're an important, talented, and desperately needed someone with valuable tools and connections with others. We need your help. To find out a few quick and easy things you can do to help, please check out the video links below in this video's description.